Hi, everybody. Mark Davis joining you in the immediate aftermath of our Thursday, October 17th program. A lot of reaction today, some from me, some from you, some from some carefully chosen guests about the deal struck. Well, who was it struck between? It was struck between Democrats who love it. The president loves it. Harry Reid loves it. Therein lies the problem. If they're all smiles, something wrong has happened. And something wrong has happened. There were enough Republicans to go along with this turkey to have it see the light of day. I mean, I'm fine with reopening the government. We need to reopen the government at some point, but it would have been nice if we would have achieved something in so doing. It would have been nice if we said, well, we reopened the government, but we got some enormous concessions in terms of spending cuts. Or we reopened the government, but we were able to delay Obamacare for the individual mandate for a year. We got nothing. It was a complete surrender. It was a complete white flag. And as I said on the show a number of times, I expected this. You probably did as well. And it was never a matter of whether, it was a matter of when this surrender would take place. So now the question is, what do we do now? There is a Republican civil war brewing, and we got to figure out how to navigate that. I've spent a career, and you've probably spent a good bit of your adult life, chronicling the differences between Republicans and Democrats, liberals and conservatives. And we're still doing that. Please, you know that well. But the interesting thing now is what to do within, under the big umbrella of the Republican Party, where you have people like John McCain, you have people like Lindsey Graham, you have people like Bob Corker, and you have people like Ted Cruz, you have people like Mike Lee, and that's just in the Senate. Then you get into the House and various other frames of reference. There's only one way to be conservative, but there are a lot of ways to be Republican. You can be a liberal Republican. You can be a rhino Republican in name only, one of my favorite acronyms. You can be an occasional cafeteria conservative that I like to say, well, I'm conservative on this and this, but not on this and this. And if that's what you run on, as Senator Graham and Senator McCain have, and the people in South Carolina and Arizona respectively know what they're getting, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to be conservative sometimes, sometimes not. But for the people who ran, who told their prospective voters, I'm going to Washington to fight the Obama agenda. I'm going to Washington to be a steadfast, consistent conservative. To do that and then vote for this deal, hugely problematic. Now, I don't want to go into 2014, and I sure don't want to go into 2016 with the Republicans in a circular firing squad. You know how that imagery works out, with just blood all over the walls and the party just collapsing under the weight of all the bad blood being gathered as we trade accusations of surrender monkey versus weasel rhino. I mean, that's not generally productive. So, as we've seen in this past week, somebody's got to give. I have a suggestion on who should. And by give, I don't mean resign or lay down in the path of a primary opponent, but I find it interesting, for example, a couple of guys I know and like well, Pete Sessions in the House, District 32, John Cornyn in the Senate, they voted the right way. Now, some will say, yeah, but there in Pete's case, he's getting primaried by a candidate from the Tea Party. And in Cornyn's case, he's trying not to get primaried by a candidate from the Tea Party. So they had to vote this way. Well, I can't read minds. And generally speaking, I've spent a lifetime saying that if someone votes the right way, I really only have one thing to say. Thank you. By whatever path you arrived at clarity, by whatever course led you to the right vote, at least you cast the right vote. Now what we need is some consistency, not just an event, but a pattern moving forward of some people who have had some questions raised about the level of their conservative commitment, the level of their passion. I'm not suggesting that everyone needs to turn into a hammer-down soul like Ted Cruz, but it couldn't hurt. There are lots of ways to stylistically be a consistent and upbeat and unapologetic conservative, and I would highly recommend that every Republican do that. Choose your style, choose your method, choose your battles. But this notion of we've got a deal, we have to make a deal, we have to reopen the government, that was looking this far in front of your face. We got to reopen the government. When? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? How about saving the country? How about turning the country's path around? How about doing something, even if it involves some momentary tension, that really brings about some change in the crazy levels of spending, the unworkability of Obamacare, and the massive lean toward neo-socialism that we're taking? That's not going to be easy. It could get ugly, it could get tense, and you got to be up for the fight. And as a warrior, what I want the Republicans to do is, with a constant smile and an upbeat mood, step forward and explain that why they're doing what they're doing is not for the purpose of shutting down the government, or the purpose of hurting anyone by taking them off the government teat, but by giving them real opportunity, real free markets, real liberty. We're doing this for the common man. The Democrats have always done a much better job than we have of saying, well, everything we're doing it for the common man. It's BS. It's a lie. It's crazy. And yet millions of people believe it because they just keep saying it. Well, I want to start saying it. And when we say it, it's the truth. When we give people liberty, it's because it's good for people rich and poor. When we talk about equality of opportunity, we say that because it's good for people who are black and white and brown and yellow and purple and Martian, whoever. Everything we do because on principle, it's good for everybody. Getting rid of Obamacare and getting in some free market solutions. Making sure that we're not doing these stupid, repetitive increases in the debt ceiling, which are just insane. The reason to stop that is a reason that should resonate with all people. We have a huge message problem. We have a little bit of internal conflict to move through, but here's how we resolve it. Everybody in the rhino world, the moderate world of Republicanism, you're either going to have to gut up or get out of the way. I mean, I'm really, really sorry. If you are going to be more liberal than conservative, there's a place for you to be. It's called the Democratic Party, or private life, and maybe we can arrange that for you. But it is time for warriors. It is time for strength. It is time for spine. It is a gut check for America. It's a gut check for the Republican Party. We're going to chronicle all of it, so come listen to the next show we do. Mark Davis Show, 7 to 10, Fridays 5 to 10, because I get to do Bill Bennett's Morning in America, which this week ought to be a party. So join us wherever we happen to appear on the radio, and thanks for hanging out with us here at 660 AM The Answer. See you soon.